What's up, YouTube? This is Tanner with Architech, and this video has been a long wait. Man, it's been a long time since I've made a video, and I'm sorry for that. It's been just crazy busy. Man, what's happened since the last video? So, I was planning on making a video sooner, but my son was born 7 weeks earlier than anticipated, so it's been a very busy time with that. And been busy with school, end of the semester projects, 2 different competitions I've been working on. So yeah, been pretty busy getting ready for internships, stuff like that. But I've been wanting to make a few videos, so I have a few videos in mind. I'm going to be working on those. This one was one that I just wanted to kind of touch base because of how busy I've been. I haven't been able to answer a lot of your questions and comments on my channel. So I just kind of wanted to go through and answer some of these in a video. And I'll have to probably comment back on your comments so that way you know that there's a video answering your questions. So I'm not going to be able to answer all the different questions that have come up. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. So let's see here. So these are going to be ones that I haven't already answered. So let's see here. Okay, so the first one that I want to touch base on is a lot of people have been asking me if I can do a MacBook Pro M1 review and if architecture softwares or engineering softwares work with the M1. Unfortunately, I'm just not a big enough channel yet to do any M1 reviews. I can't afford to go out and buy an M1 to do reviews on and then, maybe eventually return it. And I'm not a big enough channel that Apple will give me an M1 to do reviews on. But as of right now, I love what Apple's doing with the M1 Macs. I think they're going to be very fast and amazing machines, but I just don't know if they're going to be geared towards architecture or engineering. They may, most likely you'll be able to use Rhinoceros 3D because they have a Mac version. AutoCAD has a Mac version, and then ArchiCAD has a Mac version. But I don't know what rendering softwares you'd be able to use on it. So Lumion and Enscape currently don't have a Mac version, unless Lumion has a Mac version within Parallels Desktop, which is a virtual machine that you can use on the Mac. But it's pretty, unless you pay for the most expensive version of Parallels, they really hold back on what you can do within Lumion. And as of right now, I think Parallels are working on an M1 version for the Mac. Right now, Parallels is working on, I'll rephrase that. I'm not going to edit this video, by the way, so this is going to be unedited. Right now, Parallels Desktop is working on a version that'll work for the M1 Macs. It might be out now. I haven't checked recently, but they have been working on it and should have one here soon. So that's an issue with the M1, is I don't know if we'll be able to use those programs within it because we can't use Boot Camp. Boot Camp, as of right now, only works with Intel processors because it needs to be able to run Windows, and Windows doesn't work on the M1 architecture. So if you have an M1 Mac, Boot Camp is non-existent. Don't know if that's going to change. Maybe if Windows goes to a different architecture, like a silicone architecture. But as of right now, no Boot Camp in M1. So me as an architect, man, I'm tired. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I just got done doing another assignment. My son is sleeping. I keep saying my channel name. So as an architect, I'm not going to get an M1 Mac until I know for sure that's doable. I'm going to stick with the Intel-based Mac, and my Mac has been working great. Many of you have been asking if the fans are loud, how long the battery lasts when I am working in Boot Camp in Windows on programs like Revit, Rhinoceros, rendering programs like Lumion, things like that. The fan speeds kick up. I mean, they're running really fast, but it's still quieter than any Windows like gaming laptop that my buddies have. And honestly, my battery life lasts longer if I'm not plugged in doing those things than my buddies' gaming computers do. my battery life probably lasts 3 times longer. I'm going to do a video that will show for sure, but probably 3 times longer than theirs. And the Mac can run at full capacity and full processing power. The GPU, nothing gets throttled back being unplugged, versus most of your gaming laptops, if it's not plugged in, it can't run at its full capacity. So that's another benefit, really nice thing about using a Mac. So let's see here. Someone asked if I have a social account on Instagram. Not yet, maybe eventually. Still working on that. I'm getting into photography, so I might be starting an Instagram account with some of my photography, and the kind of photography I'm getting into is film photography. So not so much the digital side. I like the nostalgia of film, so kind of looking into that a little bit more. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. So we have someone here that said, hello, I am an owner of a Mac Mini 2018 with i7 16 gig. So i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigabytes of SSD. And doesn't look like they have a GPU, or if they do, it's a very slow one. They use Revit and Parallels. 16, let's see here. It's slow when they move the 3D model, which is very common in those older MacBooks, at least ones with not an external GPU, or not, sorry, external, but dedicated GPU. And let's see, they want to improve the performance and do an external video card. So you can do an external video card if you have a Thunderbolt or a Type-C connector like the new MacBooks have. And so the 2018 Mac Mini, I'd have to check and see if it has Thunderbolt, but I'm pretty sure it does. So if it does, you can do an external video card. There are quite a few different ones you can get, and I would recommend the fastest ones that you can get right now that will work with a Mac. Most of them are going to be Radeon GPUs, so they're going to be not your NVIDIA GPUs, but they'll be more the Radeon side. So I'll do some checking on that, and I will post that and let you know which ones are the best one for the most bang for your buck that will work for the Mac Mini. What country is the video? So I did a day in the life of architecture student, episode 2. I am in the US. I am in North Dakota in the United States. And that's where that video was taken, was actually in Fargo, North Dakota. So we have someone asking, is a MacBook Pro with 1.4 gigahertz processor good for architecture student? So the 1.4 gigahertz processor MacBook Pro, I believe, is the 13-inch MacBook Pro, the 2020 13-inch MacBook Pro. And I would say no, because the 13-inch doesn't have a dedicated GPU, which is what makes it so you can run your programs faster. Like rendering programs really need a dedicated GPU. Even a lot of the architecture software is like Revit, ArchiCAD, things like that, AutoCAD, Rhinoceros 3D, SketchUp not so much, a little bit when you start getting to really big files. But if you're going to be using those programs, you really should have a dedicated GPU. So if you want to go with a 13-inch MacBook Pro to save some money, you could always do an eGPU, an external GPU. I'd have to look up a little bit more about them to recommend which one to get, but you can do that. But as of last time I checked, boot camp drivers weren't really utilizing the eGPU as well as they could be to boost performance. So don't know if it'd be worth it. But as of right now, if you're just going with a 13-inch MacBook Pro, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend getting the 16-inch or maybe a 15-inch with the Vega 20. It's not going to be near as good as the 16-inch with the new graphics cards that they have, like the 5500s or 5300s, but it'll be better than the MacBook Pro 13-inch. Here we have Leah. Hi, I am an architecture student of 3 years. I need to upgrade or add to my HP laptop. I'm thinking of the iMac 2021 with the M1 chip. Do you think I could do real life renders on it with Lumion or Twinmotion? Or is it better to buy a Windows home station for big projects? So that's a great question. I love the iMac. I personally would love to get an iMac, but I wouldn't get it with the M1 chip, because the M1 chip, as of right now, I just don't see us being able to use many of the architecture programs within it. So Leah, I do not recommend you getting the iMac 2021 with the M1 chip. I think you will spend a lot of money and not be able to do what you're wanting to do, because I don't think you'll be able to use Lumion or Twinmotion on it. I would recommend getting a Windows home station. You'll be much happier. You'll be able to, you could even do a hack Mac if you wanted to, but really you could do a Windows home station. It'll be cheaper, it'll be faster, and you'll for sure be able to use the programs you're going to use. So as of right now, that's what I would recommend. We have, if I use MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020, will that work for Enscape, Lumion, and Revit? So this is from 6 days ago. Again, the 13-inch MacBook Pros just don't have enough oomph to run Enscape, Lumion, and Revit, and you really can't get a big enough SSD to partition your hard drive. And if you, for how much you'll end up paying to get a bigger hard drive in it, you might as well get the 16-inch. When it comes to Apple for architecture, you really can't skimp out on getting a cheaper one or a smaller one. For Apple to work with architecture programs well, especially if you want to use Revit and use rendering softwares, you really need to get a 16-inch. You need to get the more expensive ones, which is what's tough and why it's not the easiest computer to get for architecture, or doesn't make the most sense to get for architecture. So unless you're willing to pay that much to get a 16-inch MacBook Pro, I would avoid getting a Mac for architecture unless you find a used one that's more affordable. Otherwise, I would get a Windows computer. So no, I would not recommend the MacBook Pro 13-inch 2020. It will not run those programs. Honestly, I don't think you'd be able to do really anything within Lumion or Enscape on a 13-inch Mac. Revit, maybe a little bit, but it'll be really choppy. And that's only if you had a big enough hard drive to be able to partition your drive and run Boot Camp in it, because you can do Parallels. It takes up a lot of space on your hard drive. Parallels desktop, those virtual machines do, and you'd only be able to run Lumion for a rendering software, and it wouldn't run it very fast. And then we have Coco. Hello, thank you for uploading this video. This is the how to use Revit, Lumion, and Enscape on a Mac video that I posted. I just downloaded Lumion student version, and it's saying my MacBook Pro does not have enough quality of GPU. And so right now, the GPU that she has is the Vega 20, and that'd be like the 2018, 2019 model of the MacBook Pro 15-inch. And so yes, she's asking if I'm using a different GPU, if I'm using like a 2070 or if I'm using like a Radeon RX 5700. So I am using a different GPU. It is Radeon, and it is the laptop version, so it's the 5500M with 8 gigabytes of memory. So, and then I have 32 gigs of RAM in my computer. So the Vega 20 should run Lumion. It's tough because Lumion 11 that came out is a beast. So in Lumion 10, my 5500M showed that it could, it was like 80% of what Lumion 10 would require. Once the Lumion 11 came out, it's like 30% of what it requires. But I can do all the renderings just the same and just fine, and I haven't had any issues. So the percentage of what it requires is more like saying, if you really want to do some new features that Lumion 11 has, you're going to need more oomph, which there are some new features that even my friends who have 2080s and so those would be NVIDIA like 2080s and things like that, theirs can't handle it either. But theirs can handle more than mine can. So the Vega 20, in my opinion, should be able to handle Lumion 11 if you're using Boot Camp. So Coco, I'll reply to this also via text, but you'll have to let me know if you're using Bootcamp or Parallels, because I can see it not working very well in Parallels, but Bootcamp, it should work. So I'll get a little bit more information from you on that. And the last question we had was from someone 3 days ago. I really want to know about this on the Mac M1. And again, right now I just can't do anything with the M1. I wish I could, and I could get a hands-on review on the M1, but not there yet. Hopefully, eventually. So stay tuned. I'm going to be releasing some more videos. I'm going to be releasing, I'm thinking about 3 more videos here soon. Pretty easy ones to make, so it should be pretty doable. This will be my first and maybe only video that I don't edit. I just wanted it to be a fast video so I can get it out to you guys, answer some of your questions, and just let you know why it's been taking me so long to come out with another video. Things are getting a little bit calmer now, getting more used to being a dad, and school's coming to an end and projects are coming to a close, so it'll be easier for me to put out some more videos for you guys. Please though, if you have any more questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. Please click the subscribe button, it helps me out a ton, and looking forward to getting to the 1,000 subscribers. We're over halfway there, but thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you for sticking with me during this time and for such a long break in between. And I look forward to talking to you guys again very soon with some new content. And hopefully someday I can get my hand on an M1 Mac and let you know more about that. But until then, I'll do some more research and post anything that I find. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day.